Thanks for watching askreddit. Please take a few seconds to subscribe to the channel. Videos are posted daily and I need friends. Subscribe bless. Teachers of Reddit. What was the most obvious teacher crush someone had on you? I had a student who had a rough life. Mum pretty much abandoned him, and grandma was raising him by pawning him off to family on the weekends. I knew he was going to have a rough life if someone didn't step in and let him know he mattered. He asked me one day how I would know if someone loved me. I jokingly replied that person would bring me coffee in the morning. A few days later he came into the gym with a huge smile and a cup of gas station coffee. He walked right up and handed it to me along with a bag of creamers and sugars. He said he didn't know how I liked my coffee, so he grabbed one of each. He saved his allowance and asked his grandma to leave for school early so he could stop by the gas station. The next year he brought me a coffee mug so I could remember him when I drank my morning coffee. That kid will always have my heart. That is so sweet. Do you have any idea what ended up happening to him? I do. Unfortunately, his behavior continued to spiral out of control and he was placed in a behavior school. He is in 7th grade this year. That's unfortunate. I guess things got rougher at home in the years following. At least he is still young enough to turn his life around. When I was playing Hamlet in the school play, and the girl playing Ophelia got stage fright at the last minute, so the drama teacher had to costume up and sub in for her, on her knees in a low-cut bodice, hanging onto my leg, and screaming, "Oh, help him, you sweet heavens." I got a boner in front of 500 people. Nice. No shame. Well, maybe a little shame. More so if it was so tiny no one noticed. Anyone notice? Pretty sure she did. At one point, she was supposed to run for the exit, and I had to grab her and hug her to me from behind. I have heard of your paintings, too. Well enough. You jig and you amble and you lisp, etc, etc. Rest in peace our fallen brother. Whoa, my student really loves Shakespeare. Just enough to shake at his spear toward me loins. I teach at a university and students ask me out. I had a student once ask me out in front of the class while I was teaching, but I think it was more a power move than anything else. Edit. Bonus story. I teach a sexuality class and a student brought up negging. I asked the class for a definition and one dude goes, "You're pretty for a sociologist." The entire class was horrified that he had negged me. Had a teacher in high school who had the same thing happen to her. She looked at the kid and said, "Honey, I teach all day, don't have time to teach at night too." That shut him down pretty quickly. Holy shit, that's a hell of a burn. A case of burn so bad it's mentioned in medical textbooks worldwide. That's a zinger. A real knee slapper. A pretty intense nasal exhale if I do say so myself. Bit of a different one this. Parents' evening. Single mum comes in to talk about her son. Her youngest daughter, probably about 4, runs in, jumps on my knee and exclaims, "My mummy says you're going to be our new daddy." Longest parents' evening of my life. How did the mom react to this? She actually handled it really well. Just came out with something along the lines of, "Oh, isn't she silly?" Obviously I just tried my best to ignore it and get through the appointment as quickly as possible. I was 24 at the time and the only male teacher in the school, and the first in several years, so I was fairly experienced when it came to dealing with comments made by students, but this one threw me right off. I teach this age, preschool. I honestly doubt the mom ever said anything like that to the child. Sometimes they just make up the strangest comments. Maybe she saw Annie, or some other movie like it, really liked the idea of a new daddy and decided to declare that to the first eligible dad she perceived. You never know, though. If the mother had been talking about how attractive she thought this teacher was and the kid overheard it, the kid might have overinterpreted her comments. We don't always realize when children are listening. When my nieces were little, they overheard the moms in the waiting room of their pediatrician's office commenting on how handsome Dr. X was. After that, they referred to him as the handsome Dr. X. As a parent, I operate under the assumption that my kids will repeat anything and everything. TBH, I think it probably more likely came from the son. I worked in a very deprived area, with quite a high ratio of single parents, often being the only prominent male figure in the children's lives. This kind of comment was surprisingly common from the children I actually taught with more volatile backgrounds, just not from some unknown kid in front of their mum. Although saying that, you would be surprised at the things a lot of these kids came out with, which the parents would then openly admit they had discussions about, etc. Yeah, when my son was 5 I asked him where he got this wicked bruise and the story he told me was that I had hit him, which never happened. I am actually not categorically against corporal punishment, but have never really thought it necessary except some extremely minor things and no hitting of any sort. So it definitely wasn't from me, or I suspect anyone hitting him probably fell off a playground set doing something I told him not to or something, and that was a lie that came to him. Maybe after a similar incident a friend had, maybe after some talk at school. Who knows? Was disturbing though, because he was so adamant and straight-faced about it. When kids start experimenting with lying, they aren't always self-conscious about it the way older kids and most adults are. Not a teacher but used to be a Cub Scout guide. One of our boys, 10-yo, had a crush on my adjutant, 16-yo girl. He swore she will be his girlfriend one day, and was strangely serious about it. We laughed it off, and forgot about it. Years went by, the boy became a man, joined the army, came back, went to medical university, got buff and handsome, and reached out to his old crush on Facebook. They got married last May, and have a baby girl. Damn bad ending though. Don't let your dreams become dreams. Ream those dreams, yo. Scribbling furiously. I think I know them. She's a senator, right? And he's always complaining about sand and the Jedi holding him back? A student ejaculated into a Ziploc bag and put it on my desk. He told me it was from him masturbating while thinking of me. Reason 92,626,283,360. To that I am no longer teaching. Got a similar story? Share it in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to Reddit for your daily dose of r/Reddit goodness. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.